And we've got audio, we've got video, perfect. Oh, right there. Shabbat Shalom, honorable judges, my most esteemed friends, LVE tribe, as well as everyone accompanying us. On this rather precious and heated, radiant, very precious morning day of Shabbat from California, the US of A, today is Shabbat the 23rd of Av, the 5th month, which is on its way out of the year 5992 from creation. Today is September 9th of the year 2023. We shall study yet another chapter of Revelation 17, which is fascinating, incredible prophecy, part 47, for the mind which hath wisdom, part 4. Today is a rather special subject because it's the heart of the enigma, the greatest one that no one has solved ever, except for the eternal truth. You which are judges and all you listening have to test what I will teach from the scriptures to see if you have a better interpretation or solution to these words which are so enigmatic, because today precisely we shall study what the text of the invitation says. And the text of the invitation says, Revelation 17:9 through 10, this is for the mind which hath wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains upon which the woman sitteth, and they are 7 kings. 5 of them have fallen. One is, and the other has yet not come. And when he cometh, it is necessary that he last but a brief time. When I read these words, back in the year that I had read them many times before, but I hadn't ever stopped to think about them or had them present, by the year 2017 I read them as if they were the very first time that I read them. It was kind of like I had never read them before, which I had read them before, but it's kind of like they really called my attention in such a way that's so great that I couldn't do anything else that wasn't to discover this mystery. Because I would read a portion of the scriptures, which was known to me, but it was kind of like I had never read it before. And I would say, how could it be that this text says that there are 7 heads, that there are 7 mountains, 7 kings? And it starts to say 5 of those kings are fallen. One is reigning, and the other one has yet not come. And when he cometh, he must last but a brief time. And the beast that was and is not is also the 8th, and is one of the 7, and is going into perdition. That I had as an enigma which perturbed me day and night. Back in the year 2007, I learned Revelation 17 by memory. I would read it many times during a day, and before going to bed, I would read it again. As a mission, it was to try to understand this. Since I was an Adventist, I looked to see what the prophetess of the Adventist, which was my prophetess back in that time, would say. I said, Ellen has to say something about this. Ellen will enlighten this mystery for me. Nothing. Not a single word. Nothing. I had not received light. The Lady White had not received light. Thus I didn't receive light from her. Her accompanying angel didn't tell her anything about these words. I said, how could it be? These enigmatic words are so marvelous, and Ellen did not receive light. Why are they there? It's a prophecy that's so specific, and I said, if this is not understood, why is it any good? Why did Elohim write these words that no one understand them. So then I started to see what Uriah Smith spoke about it, all the Adventist pioneers, all the modern Adventist theologians, and nothing. Didn't get anywhere because, of course, they had to make up such stories that didn't coincide in anything and didn't help the solemnity of these words, none whatsoever. It was a Chinese story, a stupidity. It was nothing would satisfy me. All of a sudden, I visualized that they could be popes. And I said, of course, Rome is the beast. Rome is the prostitute. Rome is the city of the 7 hills. Rome became a state that was independent and her popes started to be kings. Not just popes now of a church, they were the head of state, an independent state, the Vatican state. So then I learned that they were the 7 kings. And I said, wow, can it be so marvelous? We are living in the pope that the prophecy indicates, and a pope will come, which is one of the 7. So then he's already fallen, so then there will be a resurrection. And who could be the best one to resurrect? You already know this whole story. The best one and most beloved by everyone was the candidate, John Paul II. And everything would seem to fit in because Yahweh makes prophecies to, wow, when you don't understand them, they satisfy you to such a point that they fit in, and it's fantastic. And that explanation convinced me a lot more than all the rest. We are living in the time of the last pope. And the following one that was coming was going to be one resurrected. Because the beast that is not is also the 8th. So then the beast that is not resurrects and comes back to life. And of course, and the explanation for that time was enough for me. What had to happen is that would not be fulfilled. What had to happen is that I had to understand who the beast was. What had to happen is that I had to understand that there was only one Elohim in order to be able to really decipher this prophecy. And no one in the world, no one, just like that, no one, absolutely no one, has ever deciphered this prophecy ever, except for the eternal truth. Today, you have the opportunity of studying this prophecy, studying what I will teach today, and see if it has any sort of failure and if you have a better explanation. Without any further ado, let us seek our Elohim. Beloved Yahweh, we give you thanks for the information you give us. We give you thanks because you have given us the apocalypse, the revelation for the Messiah. It is the information that you give the Messiah, that the Messiah at some point in time, he may teach it to peoples and nations. I give you thanks because we can understand and see these prophecies which really are marvelous and incredible. I ask you that we can understand clearly the point of your symbols in Revelation 17, that we can really have no doubt that the time is immediate. In your precious name, Yahweh Sabaoth, Alleluia. Yahweh has blessed with one more year of life the following members of the Eternal Truth: Kevin Montiel, Colombia; Rosielia Godoy, El Salvador; Obed Adiel Hernandez Martinez, the US of A; Diego Moises Rodrigo Espinosa, Ecuador; Carlos Daniel Meraz Parra, Mexico; Nestor Mendieta, Uruguay; Renesis Fletes Correa, Nicaragua; Giselle Carolina Heyer, Argentina; Belen Darlet Siloch, which I believe we'll see today, we think, that they'll arrive. They're here already. Oh, they did arrive. Okay, then they arrived. Oh, I didn't even see him come in. I was so concentrated on what I was saying. The panorama in front of me became blank. I was so concentrated, just like John in the Spirit. I was seeing the vision along with John. So then Belen is already here. Okay, and Hector Martinez, which is here also, although he was late today. So then we started late. That's why we got here late today. Just so you know, the birthday boy got here late. The whole lineage got here so late. I asked them to get here 10:30 maximum. They come 10:10 or 11:10. So then every time we start late, you already know what it is because the people don't could care less, and that's why we, or not. But since it's his birthday, we're gonna be a little soft. Since it's his birthday, so they're very happy birthday, Hector. The present we were gonna give you, we're not gonna give it anymore because you had to be here on time. So then I'll keep that, Leslie. Rewards are rewards. For Christmas, yes, we'll have that for Christmas. So then, a very happy birthday. We're going to be celebrating your birthday and Belen's. Very well. Very well. Congratulations to everyone that has had a birthday. May it be the last one, although I don't know. May it be the last one under this system of Babylon. Very well. I'd like to comment something. I believe I've got the last ones, approximately 100 or 160, 170 rings to send out. Once I have them, right? As soon as the jeweler gives them to me, I send them out. Let's give a number like that, 170. And already, I believe everyone that has asked for it has been close to it. It's been some time that has ordered any for quite a while. I calculate that it's all from the Eternals who decided to have it. They have already asked for it, and it is within that number. I'd like, and it's not that I'm closing, don't misunderstand my words, although maybe, I don't know. I'd like for everyone that still have not asked for it, for some reason or another, and they know that they deserve the ring, this would be the opportunity, not the last one, but the opportunity. I'd like for it to be this week or tomorrow, the very day of tomorrow, if there's anyone that was thinking whether they had not decided and they're scared to be in debt, they didn't feel or didn't want to fall into commitment, or they really feel in their heart that they have to be owners of this ring, it is the opportunity. So then if somebody was in doubt, if someone was thinking about it still, if somebody was delaying this to see if they got the money or not, I want you to write to me tomorrow, the very day of tomorrow, and ask your order. Then after that, I do not guarantee anything. Just like that. It's not that I'm closing it officially, but I cannot guarantee anything that they can be acquired. Very well. If you like this video, give us a like. Exactly. Give us a like. I saw some comments that said, thanks, Yahweh, for the jewel, for the ring, the design of Yahweh. No, you're wrong. My name is not Yahweh to begin with. I want that to be clear, because if you don't know who the credits go to, then you're not going to be able to reign anywhere. Yahweh didn't come here to design anything. If it were the design of Yahweh, then he would have had to send it with the special delivery from heaven. Okay, and that did not happen. I designed it. Moi, Christian Selvo, not Yahweh. If you say the ring was designed by Yahweh, you offend me greatly. And you offend Yahweh, by the way, because maybe if he designed it, he would design it a lot better. But I designed it. And I designed it for my wife. For my wife. I liked it so much that that's how everything started. That I said, okay, I'm going to make one for myself also, and also one for Angelina and one for Brian. So then here, Yahweh, even if he wrote the text and everything else, notice what the text says. Revelation 2:17. I'll read it in the New Living Translation. Everyone that hath ears to hear must listen to the Spirit and understand what he saith unto the churches, unto all who are victorious. I'll give him of the hidden manna in heaven. Who's speaking? The one speaking is someone called Yeshua here. It's not the Father. It's not Yahweh. And I shall give unto him, to everyone, a white stone. Yahweh doesn't give you the white stone. I want that to be left clear. Yahweh's not giving you a white stone, because my name is not Yahweh. It's been given to you by Christian, Leslie, Angelina, and Brian. Those are the ones that are given to you. That's first of all. And in the stone shall be engraved a new name. Spectacular. The new name is LVE. That's a new name, never before used. The eternal truth in LVE has never before used. That no one comprehends exactly. Everyone sees LVE and they think that it says something else. It says love. It says who knows what it says. Aside from him that receiveth it. So then do not make a mistake. Do not make a mistake in what time, in which way you have to think for this. Do not mistake that. And the wife decided to share it with you. Exactly. I hope that has been left clear. I've seen comments. Thanks, Yahweh. Yahweh designed it. No, Yahweh didn't design anything. He didn't design anything. Because if Yahweh had designed it, then I can close all this up and let's speak with Yahweh directly for Yahweh to send it to us. But what happens is that the one that has to send it out, the one that has to go to the post office and do the cards and revise and measure it, everything in those that are even 10 hours in the post office, I mean a lot more per week. Every time we go, it's more than an hour. It is us. So then don't come and say Yahweh sent it to me. No. How horrible is that to say Yahweh sent it to you? No, Yahweh didn't send it to you. It was sent to you by the Silva lineage. That's the one that sent it to you. Just to leave it as clear. Another point. You let your friends know, you let people know when you want, you publish in the eternal truth or in your timeline, that's fine. But the one that you should let know immediately when you receive the ring is the one that sent it to you. Me, I gave a tracking number to every one of you, a number that you can trace it. The very same day that you receive it, the least you could do is to say, oh, I'm going to write to him and say, I received the ring. Many do, many don't. I have to be looking to see who published the video to see if they received it. How embarrassing. You don't have the priority list. I don't understand. And that's how you think you're going to rule. Let me ask you seriously. That's how you think you're going to rule? You don't know the priority list. I received something. I'll write immediately to the one that sent it to me. The letter you sent me arrived. Outside I could care less about. Just like the other guy that said, thanks to all the lineage of the eternal truth. What do you mean, thanks to all the LVE lineage? LVE lineage didn't do anything for you. LVE lineage didn't do anything for anyone. How are you going to thank the LVE lineage? Who is the LVE lineage? Wow, those that receive the ring. If I'm not clear speaking this way, how can I wash you? That you're people that know how to act always well. That you know how to act always well. To thank the one that you have to thank. Not thank anyone else that doesn't have anything to do with it. Just like that, nothing to do. What a disaster. Just like that, what a disaster. To manage a group of people that I understand, you have not been educated correctly. Where to guide your words, whom to direct your words to, and how to direct your words. There are many things to learn, many things that we have to polish, that you become excellent people, just like that, excellent. in one that you make a mistake, you ruin many things that you were doing okay in one that you make a mistake. And sometimes many things come into play in the programming, the culture, your parents, your equivocal way of thinking, your brutality, your few information days, your few education days, which think that are obvious, elemental, just like that. What I'm teaching is elemental. If I receive something from someone and he sent me a tracking number and he's worried whether I receive it or not, as soon as I receive it, I'll write to him and I'll tell him, I received your package. Many thanks, I've got it in my hands. No. I have to be collecting information. I said, look, I saw the picture. He got it. Because in the list that I sent, I have to be saying who received it. He received it. Oh, okay. Did he write to you? Nah. He didn't write for shit. The guy that received it. And whom did he thank? The YHWH lineage. It says, thanks, YHWH lineage. What? Thank Yahweh. He thanked Yahweh for it. He thanked Yahweh for it. I said, wow, did he receive a different ring? Because that one from, I didn't receive the one from Yahweh. You didn't receive that one either, Leslie. Did you receive? You received one from me. But Yahweh's, we haven't received it. Maybe they got one that Yahweh sent them to them specially. No, you said thanks to Yahweh, and you published thanks to all the YHWH lineage. Many laugh and all that. How pretty it is to be with a group of people that know how to act. Those that have to lead cannot make mistakes. Just like that, they cannot make mistakes. Because I see a people that makes a mistake. And unfortunately, my mind makes a whole scheme of the brain of the people, how they act. Exactly. What judgment that person has, it's inevitable. On my behalf, I look at them and I say, that's your way of thinking. That's your way of thinking. You cannot even do anything else. That's your way of thinking. Brutal. Just like that. Brutal. After this series, we're going to start another series that's special, which will be harsh for many. It'll be harsh for many. But it is the teaching of how a king should act. I'm already giving clues. How a king acts, not a brute, not an Indian, not an illiterate, not a being moved by his emotions. How does a king act? Because if we're here, it is to act like kings. Not once, but on a permanent basis. With the mind of a king. How is the mind of a king? Because I've always told you, you have to act like a king. So then someone said, what you're saying is worthless because people don't know how to act like a king. Unless you teach them to act, because you could say a lot of things to act like a king, but the only king that they see is their dad, so they act like their dad. So then we're going to make a series of how a king thinks and acts. But once we think Revelation 17, I'm already giving you clues of what's coming as an instruction to be better people. Very well. So then, I leave with you this week so that those that were in doubt can make their order. Very well. I'd like to remind you that Angelina makes a free consult that's impressive, astonishing, that helps a whole quantity of people. Lately, she's been helping so many people that are not from the eternal truth. Tell the truth. Wow, how many problems people have. But Angelina should be so busy. But apparently, those of the eternal truth don't have so many problems, and I know that they do. They have them here, they have them everywhere. Do not miss out on the opportunity. Angelina is willing to listen to you. Angelina is willing to show you what you have to change, how a king would act to solve those problems. Very well. So then, how do I get the contact of Angelina? It is in this video, in the description of the video. In the description of the video, it says Angelina's Facebook, and that is where you can write to her and contact her. Very well. I see that next Shabbat, it'll be the last day of the month of Av. So then I am seeing that next Shabbat, being as it'll be the 30th day, we shall see the moon next Shabbat. So then it is not necessary fundamentally to see the moon in order to be able to advance in the calendar, because it's the 30th day, whether we see it or not. I always say the same thing, but it's the 30th day. Somebody sees it, of course. It's easy to see it. The only way not to see it is because it's cloudy, or because there's no window closed. Like someone said, I peeked out the window and I couldn't see it. You have to go outside. You have to go out into the space that you can see the horizon in the very best way possible. Generally, on the 20th day, you see it greatly. So then we'll advance onto the next month. What month will that be? What is the next month after the 5th one? Do you remember? Elul, the last month before Etanim, the month of the feast. Very well. Very well. So next Shabbat, the moon will be seen. Very well. Very well. Remember to comment these videos. Remember to give us like on these videos. Remember to do something at least for this ministry. Remember to do something. You're so used to receiving, and you lose the habit of giving. Let's see how many likes we have. We have 257 watching. How few? Oh well, what can I expect? The people want to listen to something else. The people want to listen to be told that they're pretty, that they're good, that they do everything right, that the fault is someone else's fault. You're the victim. That's what the people want to listen to. That you're the victim of the circumstance, and I teach you that you're not the victim. You are not the victim. Stop being the victim. No, because if it weren't because of my wife, I'd be a different person. If it weren't because of my husband, if it weren't for the circumstances, if it weren't because my mom, if it weren't because my dad, if it weren't because this happened in life, stop becoming the victim. As a victim, you're not going anywhere. In fact, the greatest of DHS is because you make yourself the victim, always as being a victim, because I see things that affect me, I'm the victim. Oh, they cheated on me. Oh, they kicked me from my job. They want to attack me, or whatever. Always the victim. So then the victim receives the DHSs. You got to be a victim. Stop being a victim. That's why I have so many few viewers, because the people don't want to stop being a victim. The people are fascinated by being a victim. Poor old me, look at what they did to me. I don't deserve such a thing. I deserve having a lot more, but life has always rewarded me incorrectly. That's how a victim sees things. A victim sees that. How does a person sees it that is a king? The circumstances change. They change them. Because the one that has to change are us. Those that have to change are us. Not our surroundings, that we can live well. So then if I change everything around me, yes, I understand. Hammer would have you get divorced because he knew the ineptitude of people that they could not change. He would look at the people and say, this guy's never going to change. I'll give him the advice to get divorced because you're an imbecile and you cannot change. It is difficult to change, very difficult to change, absolutely difficult. But it is the most honorable. It's the change. Can you change? Absolutely. You can change whatever you want. Whatever you want, you can change. For example, just an example I am a die-hard fan of Boca Juniors, whether you like it or not. how did I become a fan of them, a diehard fan? I can't remember because in my house nobody was a soccer fanatic. No one was from Boca. No one. No, it was just religion. It was just pure religion. Soccer, you wouldn't even watch, wouldn't listen to it. But back in the year '82, they sent my dad to San Nicolas, which is a precious city from Buenos Aires, San Nicolas. And back in the year, between the year 81 and 82, I was there in San Nicolas. It was precisely when Diego Armando Maradona, Boca bought him. And I, in the school, found out, in the school I found out that Diego had been bought by Boca, and I started to find out about it. And by watching Maradona, you fall in love with soccer. This was complete poetry. Diego was completely. It's fine that Pelé played well, that he was the king. I don't argue anything. That Messi plays absolutely spectacular. I don't argue anything. But Diego Armando Maradona, I would watch him play, and it would seem that my heart would jump out of my chest. He was an artist, an angel, different to all the rest. Every movement he did, I can't explain it to you. You won't understand it. But seeing it, the movement, his muscular movement of Maradona, the grace that he, the way he would move, it would seem like Yahweh was playing soccer, something like that. He's actually a god of soccer. No matter he would lose the ball or not, the expression in the face that Messi doesn't have, for example, the expression in the face, the expression of life, the movement of the legs, graced with all the rest of, because you can pass and do a gambetta of the ball, and you pass you have the grace of doing things so greatly, like a dancer. Diego was something that would make you fall in love to watch him play, Maradona. So then I saw him playing in Boca. Wow. I think that was the trigger of falling in love with that team, of the colors blue and gold. And of course, when you love Boca, you hate its rival, which is River. We're all brethren. We're all Argentinian. But you decide whom you belong to. And that's just like a whole quantity of other clubs there are. You start to divide. People start to get divided. Whether soccer is good or not, I'm not analyzing that. I'm analyzing how the mind functions. So then I am a fan of Boca Juniors. I stopped watching soccer for years. And now I start to watch them again, because to tell the truth, I had seen it as something that absolutely would take me out of my religion or whatever. Now I don't see it that way. So then, I say, can I change? If I saw that it was necessary to change this, I would. Could I change my passion, my absolute passion for Boca Juniors, for a club that I hate, that is called River Plate, because I hate it? I want for River Plate to lose every game. I want for River Plate to go down to the B League, C League, and disappear, and to be humiliated in every game they play. I want them to always do bad. For the Brazilian teams grab them, and for them to lose. You can't understand it because all the rest of the countries, Mexico, Guatemala, all the rest of the countries, the team of their country plays, and no matter who they're, even if they're not from the team, they want for their team because they're Mexican to win. I want for River to lose against anyone, against the worst Mexican team, which are all whatever, Cruz Azul, America, Chivas, the worst in the world, to play them, and for Chivas to beat them, and for all of Mexico to celebrate against River. That is what comes from within me, because that's the way it is. You cannot explain it. Now, could I change my passion for River and to make a positive passion and hate Boca? I can assure you that if I had to do it, I would do it. I do it. Just like that, I'll do it. I'll do it because even if it was against all my cells and brain cells, I would start to repeat to me. I'll buy the River Plate flag and I'll start to kiss it every day. I'll buy the jersey from River, although I hate it. And even I get goosebumps just by mentioning that jersey. I get goosebumps. I tell you the truth. If I could change, and I know that I could do it, I know that I could do it. I know my mental capacity. I know that I could love and hate every Boca Bostero, as they are called, the fanatics of Boca. Could I do it? Yes, I could. Do I want to do it? No, I don't need to do it, and I don't want to do it. It requires a decision, of course. So then if I can do that, because I know my capacity that I have, then how can another being cannot do it? We can change everything. Look, we can change everything. It's just that what you need is faith, effort, a decision is what you need. Yes, that's what happens. I wish I could transmit to you that you can, yes, you can do that. I could become a fan of Mexico, same thing. It's difficult, very difficult, but I could. Of course, Mexico's easier. There's no problem with Mexico. I should have said Brazil. That's true. That's true. Could I become a Brazilian fan and hate Argentina? Yes, I could. I could. Yeah, I could do whatever, just like that. Anything. I know the power of our mind. I know the technique to change. I know what Yahweh changes in the Shemah, the repetition. Repeat it, write it. Do symbols. What do you think witchcraft is? Symbols. Symbols on a permanent basis, they enter into your mind. They have such an effect. They're symbols. I'll have whatever symbols that I want to adopt and the symbols that I want to hate, and I'll change. Now, I have to evaluate what I want to change to. I don't want to become a fan of River, nor do I need to. In something that I need, that is convenient, and that I am wrong. For example, with Boca and River, I'm not wrong. The chickens will be chickens for all eternity, forever. There'll always be chickens, always. It's a spirit that they have. And Boca will be Boca always. Do I want to change them? No, I don't want to change them. Can I change it? Absolutely. So then, what do I want to say with this? What I say with this is that we have the capacity of changing. We have to stop being a victim and start to be the builders of our character, the builders of our reality. And I'm already eating from the subject, but I digress.
Although what you said was excellent.
Thank you, my love. Shema Israel. YHWH Eloheinu, Yahweh Ekhad. Hear, O Israel, Yahweh our Elohim, Yahweh one is. Have we changed in that? Yes, of course. We were Trinitarian. We went on to worship the Father and the Son. We passed on to YHWH Ekhad. We have such a brutal capacity of change, and we've developed it. We went from eating meat to eating vegetables and raw, and then meat, and to drink alcohol in measure. We change. Changes upon changes, we need change. When it's necessary to change, we have to change, period. From not ever using jewels to using all the jewels that you want. Because you have to change from being a mind about sex, that it's a sin and you can't do this, can't do that, to teaching you another form of seeing sex. Change is necessary. A person that has a DHS and that they get a chronic sickness, whatever it might be, they have to change. They have to change. Today I was asking Angelina, because the cases, they don't even tell us they have so many cases. I asked her because I was doing a consult about a case, a difficult case. She consulted what my opinion was, and I said, Angelina, when you ask people what they feel, what is it that they feel? Because for me, it'd be easier. What is it that they feel? What do they tell you? And everyone feels great. They don't know how to describe what they feel. I have to be taking out from them, knowing that there is an emotion, that that emotion is clear and that emotion produces that DHS and that effect in the body, that people don't acknowledge it because they don't even stop to think, to stop the world with the meditation and say, what do I feel? What am I feeling? What do I feel? What is that I feel? They don't have that capacity. People don't. When they should develop, every one of you, saying to start in a deep meditation to see what you feel. Why do I have this effect? There's this emotion. I feel this emotion. Because sometimes we're so used to living with that emotion that we don't feel it. It's normal. You don't even notice that it's there, but it's there. There's an emotion. It could be hate. It could be nausea. It could be fear. It could be just disgust. It could be anger. That it could be what? Resentment. Resentment.
Control.
Obviously, although control is not an emotion, but the need to control, for example, worry. So then there's so many emotions that you see them as generally humans don't stop to think, what do I feel? What do I feel? I would like to go into a mind, like the Hindus say, that you are in like this, I don't know the word. Meditation, but there's a word Zen, like that, like zoom. So then you measure your brain waves, what you feel. You have that peace, that tranquility. That's when you start to look for that, and you stop to leave all the yelling of the kids, of your husband, your wife, your worries, your mother, everything, to see what you feel. And that's when you start to identify. Do I feel anger? I feel upsetness, fear. You have to get to a level that you're free of everything to feel what you're experiencing, and then you can start to detect. Well, in human beings, it's difficult because they never start to meditate anything, nothing. It's all criticizing. Oh, poor me, poor me. That they do meditate. Poor me, what they did to me. What he did to me, what he did to me. What Kirsten says hurts. Or whatever stupid shit that could happen. Oh, what my bride said to me, my wife said to me, hurt me so much. What'd she say? That I was a son of a bitch. Well, we would all get offended. Why did you get offended? You should not get offended. What do you mean? Oh, you see, you need a lot more practice. You need a lot more practice. You need a lot more practice. Well, we'll leave that for some other day. Proverbs 25:2. It is the glory of Elohim to conceal the word. Yet it is the glory of the king to search out the word. The word is concealed, covered. There are more viewers than likes. But there should be a group, and there must be a group that hates us. Because whatever that loves the eternal truth would have already given us a like. If there's anyone that has forgotten, they can give us a like. Elohim has covered the word, but that it's covered doesn't mean that it's not in anybody's reach. It is at everybody's reach. That's what's marvelous. Everybody can read it. Everybody thinks they understand it. It's concealed. They don't see it. It is still concealed, completely concealed, just like that, with such a cover that it would seem cement that you cannot break. If someone, a Christian, for the first time you're listening to me, you would run out of here at least minimum with a stomachache. Another one vomiting, and another one such a hate towards me, saying, poor stupid sheep that follow him. To top it off, they say, oh, what a marvelous subject. I could not understand to go on from such a lie with such a cover that's so great for us to tell them what the word really means. They could not even process it. It takes a time. It takes a time. That is why we're so few, and that is why the group is reduced. That's the way it has to be. That's what it should be like. Because Yahweh is forming a group of kings. But the kings think like kings. Remember, the Argentinian hymn says, let the laurels be eternal that we knew how to achieve. Not that they were given to us. It didn't say long be the laurels that God gave us. No. Let the laurels be eternal that we knew how to achieve. If you have not known how to be a king, you will never be a king. You won't be. You have to know how to be a king. What will happen to the rest of the groups? Jeremiah 16, 19 through 21. Yahweh, my strength and my fortress, my refuge in the day of tribulation. Unto thee shall come the peoples. Look, this will happen in the future. This will happen in the future. This is post-plagues, post-trumpets. This is post the end of the world. If a Christian is listening to me, think about this. After the whole end of the world, after your second coming of Jesus, after the whole, everything that was taught to you as prophetic and that will happen, this is more than the end of the world, passing the end of the world. What's it say? Unto thee shall come the peoples. Unto whom? Unto thee. Unto thee is a person. Unto thee is not two. Thee is not three. Thee is one person. Unto thee shall come the peoples. Who is going to come? The peoples. In other words, the nations, the tongues. How many peoples? All the nations. Because unto thee shall come the peoples from the ends of the earth, and shall say, only lies was the inheritance of our fathers. That is what the Catholics will say. That is what the Arabs will say. That is what the Jews will say. That is what the Adventists will say, the Jehovah's Witnesses. That is what they will all say, the Indians, the pagans, the atheists. They're all going to say, wow, unto thee shall come the peoples, so as to not say, unto thee shall come all the human beings that have inhabited this earth, from the ends of the earth, so then all of them, and shall say, only lies was the inheritance of our fathers. An Adventist will come and say, only lies did I inherit it from the Adventist church. Only lies was Ellen G. White. Only lies from the pastor every Shabbat that I went to church. It was only lies. It was all lies. Same thing that will say a Catholic. It was all lies, the Mass. That about Jesus, those for Mary. It was all a lie. The Holy Trinity. It was all a lie. Vanity to which there is no avail, because I didn't get any profit whatsoever. If it is man that makes himself gods, then they're not gods. They never existed. That is why, behold, I shall give them unto them to be known. This time I shall show them the strength of mine arm. Not of our arms, but of mine arm, says Yahweh. And they shall know in the future, after the end of the world, what is known as the end of the world. They should know. What are they going to know? The most important thing that they should have known today. That my name is Yahweh. That I'm only one being. That I'm only one God. That is what they will know. Now no one knows. Now they don't understand, but they will know. How incredible, because this prophecy goes way past any revelation. It goes way past the end. It goes way past anything. And it says then after, in the end of it all, they're all going to come. And they'll understand, and they'll say, only lies was the inheritance of our fathers. Now, if all the peoples will say only lies was the inheritance of our fathers, that means that there has to be a group at least reduced that is not going to say that. That will understand this, that will even make this text be known in saying, we are not a part of that group. We know that the whole world will say that. We know that there is not an eternal hell, nor an eternal death, but that every one of those will have to learn, will have to be redeemed, but not redeemed in a cross, but redeemed from all his faults, and to learn to not to commit those, and to learn the truth. And that those redeemed will come and say, it was really true that only lies was the inheritance of the fathers. It's nothing more than truth. The most important thing that they're going to say is that, wow, Yahweh had. They shall know that my name is Yahweh. They shall know that I'm only one being. We are the only ones that understand this text. We're the only ones that understand this, that there's only one being. And we're not going to go through that situation, but rather we're the ones that we're going to teach because of us for this people to say only lies was the inheritance of our fathers. Malachi 2:17 says, ye have wearied Yahweh with your words, and ye say, in what have we wearied him? In that ye say, whomever that doth evil pleaseth Yahweh, and in such he delighteth. Or else, where is the Elohim of justice? Where is he? The answer is, it is found in the angel of the covenant. But here they're making a protest, symbolically, the shark that wanted to stay here another week, the shark in a protest, and we have the statue still standing of Babylon, and we have the rock, which is Jesus, which is Yeshua, that comes to destroy. Now this Jesus, this Yeshua is not the Yeshua or the Christian Jesus. No. He's not the Yeshua that came 2,000 years ago. No. It's a rock that Yahweh cuts, the only Elohim, and that rock is called Jesus. That rock is called the salvation of the world, the redemption of the world. That redemption of the world are judges and also masters. And those judges and masters will destroy the system of Babylon in the most adequate and indicated time, and that Yahweh chooses, and they will rule the world forever. Because this rock that is small, it becomes a rock that covers the whole earth, which means that it dominates and it owns the whole earth. No more kingdoms, no more kings, no more any government, nor millionaires aside from them. I was forgetting, I wanted to thank Nila. Thank Nila for all these jewels that she gave us. This, who was this for? This for you? It's like sunflowers, right? With earrings, precious chain, precious chain. Apparently it's for me, but I use the chains, long chains. Can you bring one so I can measure it? I want to measure something so that you know how long does a chain have to, how long a chain has to be, because or else it's gonna fake on my side to say thanks. I'll use it when I can't use it. And this is a bracelet. Brian will bring it to me. Any measuring tape. And one for Angelina, because it's got the A as an angel. This is for Angelina. Okay, let me show you how long mine is, because I like them long, and it could even be longer, but let me show you. How long does the chain have to be for me? Let me show you, because I forgot. This one is 14 inches, in other words, 28 inches. This one is 28 inches, no less than 28 inches. No less than 28, because I would never, as a man, will tie a chain here ever, and I hate for them to be this high or this high. No, ever. I want them to be long chain. I don't want them tiny. What hangs for me is not short, is always long and big, just like that, of course. This one is how long? Let me tell you, and I'm not in any form not accepting this and how precious it is. It's too small for me. This one is 22 inches. Of course, we'll switch it over to another chain. Correct. This one's for Leslie, and the ones that for Angelina, it's perfect. I need something longer. This one is 22 inches. It's so precious, extremely precious. YHWH Ekhad. It's a spectacular. Many thanks. And I don't want you to feel bad at all whatsoever. I just want to say that the measure for me, the size for me has minimum, how many inches did I say? 28. and it could even be 30. I like things to be hang low. Exactly. Imagine how this one would fit. Let me show you. Because Leslie always tells me, show them, show them. If I can open it. I mean, we are going to use it. Leslie will use it. Except for me. You see, here. Here. I don't like the chains up here. This short. Nope. They have to be longer. She likes them, but since I'll use it, it has to be this, like this, minimum. Long, and the thicker the best, the better. Of course, but of course. What else did we get from Nila? Tea, which are spectacular. Spectacular. And something which I love, that we love, which are the cuñapé. In Bolivia, I think that these were invented because it's kind of like yuca. No, pardon me. It's chipa, of course. It's like yuca, but dry. You make it chipa and you let it dry up, and it's like a crunchy little biscuit. How spectacular. We have this one, the other package flew out of here. The other one. Different brands. Yes, and the other ones, they flew out of here. We had another one that was hidden and nothing was left, quickly. I like the chipas a lot. So then, many thanks, Nila, for the gift. Many thanks. Farewell. Now we go into Revelation 17. This prophecy is so marvelous. I cannot stop repeating how fascinating this prophecy is. I would repeat it daily. I would go sleeping reading it. I would go sleeping with Revelation 17 open on my bed. When I would rise up, the first thing that I would grab was to read this prophecy, because it had me absolutely absorbed. It was absolutely... I lost the word. I was completely into this prophecy, and I could not... I was obsessed. Exactly, that's the word. I was obsessed. It was an obsession. Unmeasurable and brutal, unnormal, because I would read and I'd say, what does it mean? 5 have fallen, one is, and the other one has yet not come, and when he cometh, he must last but a short time, or a brief time. And the one that wasn't is not, is also the 8th, and I would say, wow, this is marvelous, but I have to understand it. It is extraordinary. This prophecy is absolutely extraordinary. And we start to read it. Revelation 17:1 says, and then came one of the 7 angels that had the 7 cups and spoke with me, saying, come hither, and I shall show you the sentence. What sentence? Of a judgment. There will be a judgment in the future of John. Don't you worry, you won't be a part of it. But there will be a judgment. There will be an investment of judges, and they're going to dictate a judgment upon Babylon. What Babylon? The one that I see here? No, you could not even understand it, John. It's a future Babylon. A Babylon that you will recognize certain characteristics thereof, and you'll be astonished with great astonishment. I'm about to show you. So then he says, I'm going to show you the sentence that special commission of judges, supreme judges, dictated against this great whore, the one that sitteth upon many waters. With which the kings of the earth have fornicated. How is that true? Don't you worry about that, John. It's not for you. But actually, that fornication is a symbol. It means that she has sexual relations, and it means it's illegal relations, hidden, that should not have existed, but they keep them in secret. In secret. This power lays with this prostitute, with the kings of the earth. This prostitute power lays with every king of the earth and does with them whatever she wants. What for? To produce a government which makes people stupid. How could that be? That's the way it says. With which have the kings of the earth fornicated, and they who dwell upon the earth, they who dwell there, the citizens of the earth, They have become drunk with the wine of our fornication. In other words, those hidden relations, all those manipulations which the people don't know about, the people take from those unions, illegal unions, and they think that it is good what the kings give them to drink, and they drink it, and they are left drunken. They cannot wake up. They don't see the manipulation there is of this prostitute. They don't see, absolutely. Who is the prostitute? You already know who the prostitute is. This is the fourth subject. 3. And I was taken in the spirit into the desert. Where to? It was not in person, it was in the spirit. In other words, he was taken to a place that was not the presence of John. And I saw a woman. Now he sees her. Before it had been explained to him by the angel. Now he sees it as in a vision. And I saw a woman, which is a symbol. I saw a woman sitting upon a scarlet beast, filled with names of blasphemy, that had 7 heads and 10 horns. It is all symbolism. It's symbolic, complete symbolism. And the woman was dressed with purple and scarlet, just like the priest would dress the Israelite priests, adorned with gold, precious stones, and pearls. Exactly, looked like a priest. And had in her hand a golden cup, just like the priest, a golden cup filled with abominations and of the filth of their fornication. What fornication? With the kings of the earth. So then, it is very grotesque, the image that John sees. It's so grotesque that I can imagine that he became, it was repugnant to him because he saw the sexual relation between the prostitute and the result of the prostitute and the kings, and that was what it was given unto the citizens to drink, and it would make them drunk. 5. And in their foreheads a name written, a mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of the horse and of the abominations of the earth. It is very clear who the mother of all the religions is. Who is the mother? The Adventists and the Protestants are going to say, the mother is the Catholic Church. No. That's not the mother. The Catholic Church is another daughter. Where do the religions come from? They themselves say it Judeo-Christian. Judeo is the mother, and Christian is the daughter. Judeo-Christian. Who's the mother? The primitive Jewish church. That is the mother. That is the mom. That is the mom of all the religions, even of the Arabs. It is the mom. Islam is the mom of Christianity and Catholicism included, the mother of all the whores. She herself being a great whore. She is the mother of the whores. That is she, because Yahweh married not just any whore, married the mother of all the whores. So then, it is not the Catholic Church, it is the Jewish church with which Yahweh married. That is the mother, the mom of the religions. That is why it says, Babylon the Great, the mother of the whores and of the abominations of the earth. Why of the abominations of the earth? Because the people don't know, because the people are drunk, but the abominations, the greatest abominations that there was on the earth, were designed and they were taken into execution by the mother of the whores. For example, the First World War. Today we'll make reference to it. The First World War enters into this prophecy. Absolutely. And the Second World War also enters into this prophecy perfectly. How could that be? You could say Revelation 17 speaking about the First World War. Yes. The only wars that there's ever been, the First World War and the Second World War. Promoted, executed, designed by the mother of the horse, with only one motive, to fulfill Revelation 17. Because there they had to regain the earth. It is so clear. This prophecy is so magnificent, so absolutely, incredibly, astonishingly precise that the mother of the horse designed the First World War, the Second World War, made herself a victim. That's why you have to stop being a victim. Made herself a victim. They became 6 million victims. You'll understand that 6 million victims, smoking, and she gained her objective, no matter how many she kills, because she is the most bloodthirsty of them all, no matter how many she kills. This prophecy is so clear, so clear. It's so clear. And I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints. And who are the saints? The saints are everything that it says that they are saints. Not those that you say that they are saints. First of all, the saints, the most normal ones are the prophets. All the prophets and the good people set aside that have lived. And that this prostitute has killed. I've already read all the text. That Yeshua himself, which is Yahweh, in the land says, but you killed all the prophets. You are to blame from Abel to now, because you are the most bloodthirsty group that there's ever been. Never again. If the whole people of the world knew that this prostitute executed the First World War and the Second World War, I would not have any doubt who the prostitute is and who is the most bloody of them all. Because all the millions of people that had died in the First and Second World War, and that's not taking into account all the wars that there was against the Arabs, against those that we have now, and those that we had before, all executed by her, all of them, absolutely all of them. They have an army called the US of A. That's their army. That is the army of the prostitute. So then whenever the U.S. gets into, that is where she is. Who are the saints? Who are innocent. I'm going to call it like that. Not the saints. I've said the saints from Israel. It's all fine. But who are the saints? Drunken with the blood of the innocent. I'm going to read it. Of the innocent. Killed. Like, the only one that killed more than her, you already know. The only one that killed more than her is who's that? Her father and husband, Yahweh. That's the one that has the complete record. But afterwards, her favorite son that only had Israel. That one killed, more than anyone, because it says it right here, is drunken with the blood of the saints. I'm going to change that. Innocent. And of the blood of the martyrs of Yeshua. And when I saw her, you already have to remember what I taught last Shabbat. What is that expression, when I saw her, if he was seeing her? Which means that when I saw her slowly, I recognized her. I could not credit what I could not believe what I was watching. When I saw her, I recognized her, and I was astonished greatly. I could not escape my astonishment, because looking at a prostitute, I could not notice, but I started to see, and what a murderous... And I saw the colors I hadn't noticed yet, but then I looked more, and I started to recognize something familiar to me, something of my own race. I even saw a star that seemed to me familiar. Suppose that they existed back then. And a flag, a white flag with kind of blue. And I recognized it when I saw. No, it cannot be. Always, it cannot be. And I was astonished, completely speechless when I recognized that prostitute was Israel. When I saw her, I was astonished with great astonishment. And the angel said unto me, why are you astonished? I will say unto you the mystery of the woman and of the beast that bears it, which has the 7 heads and the 10 horns. And the beast that you have seen was, and is not, and is about to come up out of the abyss. There it is. The beast that John was seeing. Up until there, we got to last Shabbat. The beast that John was looking at, the angel warns him and tells him, look, that beast no longer exists. No longer exists. It was. And was means she has already existed at another time. The beast that you have seen was and is not. Existed and no longer exists. In this point in time in which I brought you, she no longer exists. And she's about to go up out of the abyss. What is abyss? Abyss is the grave. Death is what abyss is. She's about to rise up out of the grave, out of death, because she's dead. The beast that you have seen is dead and no longer exists and is about to resurrect and go into perdition. She resurrects so that she gets her end forever. That's why she resurrects. She existed. No longer exists, but will resurrect to go into its end. And they who dwell upon the earth, who? The citizens of the whole world, the citizens. Of how many? Of everyone. I mean, this is incredible because every word takes the explanation which I am giving. There's no controversy whatsoever. My explanation goes way past a mere interpretation. It is as if I am opening the text for you, what Yahweh wrote to us. That is why it's impossible for someone that's not a king to understand. It's impossible. It's just like that impossible. It says these words. And they who dwell upon the earth, the citizens, they whose names are not written since the foundation of the world in the book of life. It doesn't say that. It doesn't say that. It says something like unto that, but it doesn't say that. It says, in other words, it says that, but it is, I would say it in a different way. I'm going to read it to you in other versions that it's a little clearer. Because it says, they who dwell upon the earth, not all. But I have to ask the text many questions. Then there is predestination? Absolutely. There is predestination. You've got the NPCs, the non-playable characters, the characters that don't play anything, that don't do anything, that exist only as a filling in your mom, and maybe she's an NPC. Most probable for now. Why? Because instead of saying NPC, it says they are not predestined to be kings. They're destined for someone else. It's not that they won't exist anymore. It says as follows. And they who dwell upon the earth, those whose name are not written since the foundation of the world in the book of life. In other words, from the foundation of the world, there is a book written. Every person written in that book will be a special role playable in the last time. The rest does not have a playable role. That's why they're non-playable. That's why they're NPCs. Non-playable characters, just a filling, which are needed in the game. And to play a game, imagine you're playing a game and there are no other characters. It would become boring. We need many characters, which actually are not important. A movie which everything is empty. No, we need the whole ambient around. Am I evil like that? No, I'm reading the wisdom of Yahweh for Yeshua. If you think you're Yeshua, then you receive him. If you're not Yeshua, don't receive anything. It's not for you. Then Yeshua will show them to you because you're a servant of Yeshua. But you haven't noticed it. All those who are servants of Yeshua, please step aside and go watch another channel. Right in this moment, all of you who consider yourself a servant of Jesus, don't watch anymore because you're not welcome. Here are not the servants of Jesus. Here we've got Jesus. It's as simple as that. If you're a Christian and you're watching and you serve Jesus, it's a moment for you to change the channel. It's a moment for you to put the finger down, the thumbs down, or this finger, and it's a moment of leaving. Instead of leaving a stupid comment, oh, the followers, yeah, this deceiver, he deceives poor sheep. I'd like to rescue them because they're so stupid. I'd like to rescue them. That guy's a vicious wolf. I'm not a vicious wolf. I'm a lion. Oh, he's a vicious wolf in sheep's clothing. No, I don't have any fucking sheep's clothing. If I could have the face of a lion, I would have it. And a vicious wolf, for many, it wouldn't be bad. It wouldn't be bad either. But not as a sheep. They could call me the lamb in conjunction. Yeah, that's fine. He's very upset. No lamb that you have ever met before. It's a lamb that's out of anything that could be in your mind incapacity. All of the servants of Jesus, please leave the Eternal Truths channel. It's not for you. Why? Because your name is not written from the beginning of the world. So then, this from here on out is for those who have their name written from the beginning of the world. You cannot write a letter now. Can you put my name down? Let's travel in the DeLorean to the beginning of the world and write down my name, please. No. If you're not written, you're not there. Do not become bitter. Just switch the channel. That's it. That's all you've got to do. Very well. Because you see this or not, could care less. You'll become even more bitter. Live your life, whatever you have to live. I'll read this in a different version. In the Bible of Simple Language says, this monster you've seen is one that lived before, but no longer exists. Yet, it will come up from the deep abyss, but only to be destroyed. Oh, that's so great. He comes out, he peeks his nose, but just for his head to be cut off and to die forever. That's why he resurrected. Yeah, that's what he resurrected for. And they who dwell upon the earth, which are not written in the book of life from before the creation of the world. We're in the same story there. So then we've got inhabitants of the world, whether you like it or not. If you're a Christian, you said, no, I accept, and you can write me down, please, no. Whether you accept or not, you're already written in the book, or you're not written. In fact, there are people that there are many people that were written and never even accepted shit. Later, they'll notice that, hey, what's going on here? My nature starts to change. This guy's calling my attention. I've never been religious. I've always been an atheist. And I have to watch this guy. Now he's the greatest on the earth. I find him a phenomenal preacher, incredible. I don't know why, because top it off, he's Argentinian, I'm Brazilian, I'm Mexican, Guatemalan, and I hated the Argentinians because they all envious. There's no turn of the page. Oh, what a son of a bitch. They have the two best players in the world. They all were born in Argentina. What could that be? They play soccer so great. We're so angry at them, how they speak. They're so proud. And all of a sudden, he starts to seduce me with his words, and I can't stop seeing him. I see him constantly. And then after I put him down, I'm bored. I put him down, and I love him, and say, wow, what's going on with me? I was an atheist. Before I could care less, and now this guy, I love this guy. See, what happens is that your name was written in a list, and you can't do any other thing than becoming a part of this. You can't go against the written natures from before. You can't go. Now, if you're not written there, also you could like it, but at some point in time you said, no, I don't think so. I'm going to look for a Messianic church, and they go with some Messianic, they go to the Catholic Church, they go to the Mass, they say, I feel such great thing in the Mass, then go to the Mass, that's perfect. If God speaks to you in the Mass, then drink the whole cup to the bottom, if that makes you happy. And so the people come, but since they come, if their name is not written, they leave. There's nothing that you can do. There's nothing that I can do. Well, so then, what does the text say? I'll go back to the original, then I'll go back to speak in the Bible of the simple language, the beast that you have seen, John, existed, no longer. It no longer is. And it's about to come up from the abyss and go into perdition, go into complete destruction. And they who dwell upon the earth, whose names are not written from the foundation of the world in the book of life, will be astonished. And John says, like I. And John, are you astonished? I'm also astonished. Am I written? Well, we'll see that later, John. You're not written for the last time. I'll tell it to you. For now, you're written, but not to live in the last time. That'll come within 2,000 years. Don't you worry, John. Don't feel bad. I know you were astonished with great astonishment, but the others that will be astonished with great astonishment are all they who dwell upon the earth. It says, and they shall dwell, seeing the beast that existed before, is no longer. While the angel speaking with John, it doesn't exist now, and shall be. So then who shall be astonished? The ones that are going to be astonished are those who live in the time of the resurrection of the beast. It'll be astonishing to see. It was astonishing for the world, absolutely. Incredibly astonishing unto the world, so astonishing that the Christians started already in the last part, bless the beast. You have to bless the beast. And then I'm not more specific because I would like for this videos to continue here on YouTube. But all the Christians say, if you bless the beast, it says God will bless you. Because they quote Abraham. Blessed shall be they who bless thee, and accursed they who curse thee. So then what do they do, all the Christians? Blessed be the beast, beloved beast, because thou art the chosen of God. We are goyim. We are just wild roots, like Paul said, in just added unto you, but they are the original ones, which at some point in time, everything, the whole entire tree of theirs shall be saved, because this is all of Israel shall be saved. So then blessed be them. Does this word, is this fulfilled completely? But not only they who bless Israel are surprised, a nation was born out of nothing. In the year 1948, when no one could least expect it, is the state of Israel born as an independent nation. And you'll say, wait, hold on. 1948, wasn't it 3 years ago that they were all... 3 years ago that there was some guy with a mustache that was... Yeah, I don't want to say that was... Yeah, roasting a bit. When they kind of heated up. Because some guy with a mustache hated them. Yeah, the guy with the mustache was of the same race. What? Yeah, the mustache was of the same thing. What? Yes. But he sacrificed his own people. They love that. They love that. All the prophets were killed by them. The very same Yahweh, they had him killed. They have no problem of self-hurting themselves. As long as they get something to become the victim, they're always the victim, and the victim always makes themselves the victim to achieve something. So then, the mother of the one of the mustache was of that same race. So then that hate, unmeasurable hate, actually was love. The guy wrote a book and he said, actually, the solution is for them to become an independent state for them. You say, what? And you know what happened? They said, no. They said, no. But that was the plan. That was the plan all along. The secret plan of the prostitute that would guide the guy from the mustache that said, look, we're going to do something else. Something drastic. Drastic, yes, drastic. We're going to kill half the world. Because the prophecy has to be fulfilled, filled with blood. It says, what does the prophecy say? The prophecy says, and I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints, of the innocent. She is drunken. She's some broad that kills her own people. Of course, she kills her own people. Who killed their prophet? She killed them. It's clear. It's more than clear. Absolutely clear. No one can argue anything. So then, they said, hey, it doesn't work that way. Apparently, the earth doesn't want to work the way. So then let's hurt ourselves, and that's how we're going to get it. Look at that despot son of a bitch who was of their own people. That son of a bitch made that never happen again. And they added zeros upon zeros upon zeros upon zeros. Maybe it went from 6,000 to, no, not 6,000. No. 60,000, no. 60K is not, no. It doesn't move anyone. Just add a little bit. 600,000. Nah. Not enough. I mean, it's a good number, but no, not as. The guy in Russia killed a whole bunch more. A little higher number. Just add another zero. How much? 6 million. Okay, I like that. 6 million. Yes. Put 6 million. That's it. It's over. 6 million. So then with that number, never again. And when the people started to say, I think it was too much on the account, we'll make a law that it's prohibited to speak and to deny. That's where you've got the deniers. It was invented. That term was invented only for they who would deny that number. If somebody would raise up and say, hey, I think that, hey, he's a denier. It's the worst word they could use. Then in Europe, they made laws. If I were in Europe speaking about this, police would take me to jail. I cannot doubt anything. I don't even know what I'm speaking about. Maybe I'm saying I can't doubt anything. You cannot doubt anything. Anything. You can't. It is sacred. It's a holy number. It's a holy number. You can't touch it by anyone. And then the word deniers, it was used for flat earthers, for denying that there is something that are harmful and that can be contagious. Anything that the norms that are established and you deny them, you're a denier. But it comes from where? To deny that number, that sacred number. So then, it's in Revelation 17 completely, absolutely. It is here. I'll read it in a different version. Now I will read it. Before reading it in that, let's see, where's the DHH, the Torah? No, I don't want to read the Torah today. You can read it later. Revelation 17. Revelation 17. In this version, says 8. And the monster that you have seen is one that lived before, but no longer exists. Yet, it will come up out of the abyss before going into its complete destruction. So then it goes up, what for? To go into its complete destruction. Very well. I'll continue to read. And they who dwell upon the earth, whose names are not written in the book of life from the creation of the world. What is this creator of the world? It's not enough that he created the world, but he created the world and he made a list. And in that list of the world, he put down names saying, in my design, that lasts for 6,000 years, 6 days, I'll write the names of the last protagonists, which are the most, no. They're the main players, and they're the most highlighted outstanding that I'll have in my creation. There are some that are protagonists, but that will die off. Yeah, they do die. Some die in the first millennium, second millennium. All the prophets are protagonists, but they're discardable. Oh, how evil is that? Yeah, that's the way it is. Or else we'd still have Abraham alive, we'd have Jeremiah alive, Isaiah. They're not alive. So then they follow the function of feeding my main protagonist, the maximum that I have. Yeah, the maximum, I'm going to make them, for them, they're the final kings. So then all the rest are support actors. But some that is not written there says, no, the greatest is Abraham, Moses is the father of all. Abraham is the father of them all. Don't even mention the prophets, disciples. I wouldn't be an apostle. You don't have to be any fucking apostle. They're all characters that we're going to form the protagonist. The protagonist is the one that doesn't die. That's the protagonist that doesn't die. He's at the end. And he finishes up with the creation of the world. He finishes up with it. The rest are protagonists or characters. There's a name. Support characters. What do you call them? The authors, the characters that are... No, more than that. A little bit more than that. They're characters that define things, but they're eliminated. They're not the main ones. The people that are not, but they see them as the main ones. They're not. They don't even know the main ones that are coming. They don't know the order of the roles, and they think that the last authors or actors are Yeshua that comes from heaven. Those that don't have their name written in the book of the work, they say, look and say, oh, we still need for the last character, the Messiah. And who's the Messiah? We understand that the Messiah is the one that came 2,000 years ago and will come back again. They're not even a part of the works. They don't understand anything. Those that are part of the work and they have their name written, they notice that, well, hey, talking about us here. Are we the protagonist? Might it be? Let's study the role well, because we're going to have to play a main role. And of course, Yahweh gave us the whole work written down in order for us to practice what we've got to do. Because, or else, they're going to throw us into the scene and say, what did we have to do? Exactly. The prophets were small parts, secondary actors, and just the fill-ins. Just to form the whole work, but who looks at who's going to be the final actors of the work? Of course, the Messiah. They all spoke of the final protagonist. They all said when the Messiah is to come, and when the Messiah comes, he'll do this. And in the time of the Messiah, that'll happen. And they all spoke about when the end of the work shall come. So the Messiah has to know what he has to do. He has to form. He has to understand his role and act it out according to the work. You understand what I'm saying, right? Very clear. It's very clear. And the Revelation 17 marks the special time of all this. Absolutely. So then, Apocalypse 17:8 says, the beast that thou hast seen is one that lived before, but no longer exists. Yet shall come up out of the deep abyss, only to be destroyed, and they who dwell upon the earth, whose names are not written down in the book of life, from the before the creation of the world, shall be surprised when they see this monster. It was alive before, right now it no longer exists, but it'll come back. It is the return of the monster, the return of the beast. Who understands this? No one understands this. Why? Because they are not a part of the work. How are they going to understand? If they were to understand it, if you want to forcefully make the whole world understand, They could not understand it, and if they could understand it, they're going to want to be a part of the work, so then they are not going to have to be a part of it. So then all the servants of Jesus change the channel. You should not even watch this. You don't have to watch it because it'll hurt you. It'll make you get upset. It makes you get upset. Annoy you, so then you can all leave, all the worshipers of Jesus. To top it off, things as if it's gonna wake someone up. Let me see if I am clear, dear listener. The eternal truth, aside from blocking you, I want this to be clear. The eternal truth does not worship Jesus. The eternal truth is Jesus. You don't like that phrase? Then out. The eternal truth does not worship the Messiah. The eternal truth does not wait for the Messiah. The eternal truth is the Messiah. And all those who are not the Messiah will be worshipped. In other words, they're going to worship the Messiah. They're going to worship. And who's the Messiah? I've already told you. I absolutely already told you. You don't agree with this faith, then bye. You can say hello and say you're satanic, which we are. You can say you're Luciferian. There's no way to get offended, which we are. Then we are exactly. And to go to hell? No. We're going to get you out of hell. And you're going to very joyfully want us to get you out of jail in hell. Very well. If I was clear with my words, then that's great. I'm going to read it to you in the Jerusalem 2001, Revelation 17:8, because I enjoy this. Why am I so slow? Because I expect that every judge of the eternal truth understand this prophecy the way I understand it. That's impossible. I can't expect you to understand it the way I understand it. That's impossible. But that they understand it the best as possible. I wish you could understand it the way I understand it. I know that's impossible, but I want you to understand it the best way possible, that you see it and that you enjoy the explanation. That you're not thinking, what does this mean? I'm going to listen to the video. No. That you memorize it here. That you memorize it. The beast that you have seen was and is no longer. This is the Jerusalem 2001, and it will come up out of the abyss, but walks towards its destruction. They who dwell upon the earth, whose name is not written from the foundation of the world in the book of life, will marvel when they see that the beast was and is no longer, but that it reappears. Those who marvel is that it reappears. No, they're not going to be able to see it, that it reappears. But if they were making them kabod, how did they appear? They appear with all the power. With all the power. This is written also in Revelation 13, which we've already studied. Revelation 13:13. Revelation 13:13 reads as follows. And I saw one of its heads as hurt, like as of death, but it was healed. There it is. I saw one of its head with a lethal wound. What does that mean? That it was going to die, and it died. And it died. But its lethal wound was healed. In other words, it resurrected. It resurrected. I didn't want to say the word wrong. It resurrected. And what happened? And it was marveled. The whole earth marveled because of the beast. Same story. Same what I've just read is the same story. And I saw one of its head as with a lethal wound, but its lethal wound was healed. And all the earth was marveled because of the beast. And also, we've got it in the story of the two witnesses in Revelation chapter 17, 11:7. 11:7. And when they have finished their testimony, the two witnesses, who do they represent? Those that finish up the body of the Messiah. It's an added, the special guests, the best of the best, when they have will be done with their testimony. The beast that comes up out of the abyss. Who is the beast that comes up out of the beast? The very same beast will war against them and shall overcome them and kill them. Why? She's an assassin beast, a murderous beast. She feeds on the blood, 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 blood. Lots of blood. And we get to the text. Revelation 17:9. This is for the mind that hath wisdom. And now we can define it even more. Aside from the fear of Yahweh is the beginning of wisdom, we could add clearly that the only ones that could have wisdom in order to understand the scripture are those that were written down in the book of life since before the creation of the world. Were you written down in a special list that you can achieve wisdom at the end of times and that you become the Christ? That is not your decision. It is the decision of the Creator. He designed it. He said, this is the Christ. These are not the Christ. So then I'm going to write down who will form a part of the Christ, who will be the Messiah of humanity, who will be my bride. I'm going to write them down since before. I'm not going to be choosing this one. I can choose, not that one, not that one. No. Before making the earth, I'm going to make a list. And I'm going to make them know that that list is not they who want or that who run or the ones that get there first. It is the one that I wrote before that I even created the earth. It's not even before the sixth day. No, it's before the fifth day, the fourth day, the fifth day, the third day, the second day, the first day, day zero. There was nothing. The first thing I make is a list, and then I create the earth. So then no one will complain, because I did it before. There's no chance of choosing. It is not, what do you say? It is not by voting. Because I choose it, I design it, because it's because of my balls I decided. Let's see if you understand it that way, as it is said in Spanish. This was written for those who were written since before the beginning of the world, before the creation of the world, in the book of life. But I thought that when I would accept Jesus Christ, then I would baptize, the pastor would have baptized me in the name of the Father and of the Son and the Holy Spirit, and it would submerge me or just sprinkle me or whatever. Many would be written for me. It was recorded in my mind that there was an angel present writing his name in the book of life when you would be baptized. What? And even I would say, please write the name of, I don't know, of John and Beatrice in the book of life, because I baptized them. At least in the name of Yeshua, I baptized you. Write his name. No. Before being baptized, they're already written. Before even having been born, they're written already. Before having this world been created, they were written already. Whether you believe it or not, this is whether you believe it or bust. And I believe what Yah was telling me. He's saying, don't you worry. Everything is predestined in this aspect. Not everything is predestined. Don't get confused. I'll speak to you about this someday. But these that are going to be the judges, these are predestined. They're already predestined. This is for the mind that hath wisdom. The predestined since before the creation of the world, and that are written in the book of life. The 7 heads are 7 months. And he says, I'm going to explain something to you, but only for them. Those who are predestined will understand. The rest will understand whatever. Don't you worry. I'll explain it to you later. The 7 heads are 7 mounts, upon which sitteth the woman. So then now I understand mountain, biblically speaking, is a kingdom. Mountain is a kingdom. Okay? You already know this. A little stone is a mount, a minuscule mountain, but it's just a little. Maybe if somebody sees it as a mountain, but it's a minuscule part of a mountain. This little stone, minuscule, is the one that becomes the eternal kingdom of the earth. So then, are they few? Of course they are few. Of course they are few. Every time I notice that they are few, because every time they watch the videos even less, there's fewer and fewer subscription and likes, and it's being reduced. Less comments, and it's being reduced. The little stone is very minuscule. It's a very small. It's not. This is a pride of lions. This is not a flock. A little. It also means a kingdom, little rock. If it says, I'm going to give them a little white stone, and the white stone actually was something which was, that could be written down, that had to have a name, and the name, the white stone, is translated also as something that's silver, white, a white metal. But actually, if this, Yahweh, and I say this for the first time, I don't think I've said this before, because I've just noticed now, not before. If this were a silver ring, but it's written like a white stone, rock is a part of kingdom, so then those who are written in the book of life in that they have the white stone, they are part of the stone. Very interesting. This is a kingdom. That's why the kings had power in the ring. They wanted to give the power to someone, and they would give them the ring, and they could. I could show you all the text. It was where the power was concentrated, but Yahweh would call them a rock also. So then they're a part of the kingdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains. First thing that we have to know: the 7 heads are not 7 heads; they're 7 kingdoms. 7 kingdoms. 7 mountains are 7 kingdoms, upon which sitteth the woman. And they are 7 kings. The word kings could be translated as kingdoms. Very same thing. So then, I reaffirm it. It reaffirms it for you. It's 7 kingdoms. The 7 heads are 7 kingdoms. It's 7 kingdoms. Kingdoms which reign upon a woman. Either the woman sits or sits upon 7 different powers, 7 kings, which are kingdoms. They're not individual kings, they're kingdoms. 5 of them have fallen. When the angel still is talking to John, says the beast does not exist. 5 of them have fallen, means the beast does not exist. 5 of them have already reigned. And we are in a period of a 6th one. But no one understands this. And I'm going to take all the time in the world. 5 of them have fallen. John, I'm going to explain it to you, but he explains it to us the way I explain it to you, which we are actually the objective of this prophecy. No one else. No one else. If this prophecy had any objective, it's actually the whole book of Revelation. It is for a group that was written since before the creation of the world. For no one else. No one else could it be any good at all. It is good for them to have DHHs, to be afraid, to understand everything like dog shit, and to be afraid of 666, which that is something that they believe is either the Sunday law or a chip or whatever stupid shit. To be afraid of the beast when they can't even identify who the beast is. So then the Revelation is worthless for them, just like that, worthless. All they who read the Revelation only lies was the inheritance of our fathers. Everything that I read from Revelation was worthless because it was a misinterpretation. So then, Revelation was written only for the Messiah. It is the wisdom of Yahweh and to the Messiah. No one else. The rest are the servants, and the rest are NPCs. But the Messiah that will act as a Messiah is the only actual receiver. The rest is worthless. They're all going to apply the message of the 3 angels that it happened in this date, it happened in that date. No, it's worthless. Just like that. I'll repeat this again. No, my dad, that was an Adventist, it was worthless. He died in the worst spiritual darkness, I'm sure, of not understanding anything. My mother, another one. The whole Adventist church, another one. Ellen G. White, another one. They thought they understood, but they lived in the worst of darkness. Was Revelation any worth of them? They could have been happier by doing something else, by fornicating a little bit more. That by trying to understand and to be terrified by Revelation. Revelation is a book that is only exclusively for the Messiah. No one else. It is there. The whole world can read it, but they don't understand it. Because it's not for them. And who is the Messiah? The Messiah is written in a list which is called the Book of Life, and it was written before creating the world. So then for him, it is the book. For the rest, it's the book of terror. Many don't even want to read it because they see plagues, they see that, they see punishment. How terrible is the end of the world that cometh. The Messiah says, oh, the book of Revelation, oh, it was for me, because it says so. It is destined, and the wisdom which God gave Jesus Christ. Who is Jesus Christ? The Messiah. So then, it is the wisdom only for the Messiah, no one else. So then the Messiah starts to read. This is for the mind of the Messiah. The 7 heads are 7 mounts. Very interesting. Upon which the woman sitteth. And they are 7 kings. 5 of them have fallen. Okay. So then in the time of John, I have to understand this. When the angel, which comes to show the sentence, it's actually the Messiah dictated against Babylon, takes into a space of time where the 6th one is ruling. Speaking about 6,000, 66 million. The 6th one, I'll take you to the 6th one because actually it'll be understood in the 6th millennium, so let's choose that one. He could have chosen whatever else. It is the wisdom of Yahweh. He could have chosen whatever and says, no, I'm going to take him to the 6th kingdom. It all has to do with the 6th millennium, and there are many things there. 5 of them have fallen, John. The beast that you saw no longer exists. So then, it was a part of those that are over there, because now a 6th one exists, but it's not a beast. You understand what I'm saying, right? 5 of them are fallen. One exists. And the other, because it's 7. And the other has yet not come. We still need more time for him to come. From where I brought you to see, we need for the other one to show up still. And when he cometh, the seventh one, and when he cometh, it is necessary that he last but a brief time. Wow, it is marvelous. Is that information necessary? It is absolutely necessary that we can understand, because it's for us. The rest will not understand it ever. I want to see how it says in the DHH. Let's go to the Spanish DHH. Let's see how this says. And I hope that many Christians that got offended with my words have already left. We do not worship Jesus. We do not worship Jesus. In fact, you're going to have to worship us as Jesus. 17:9 says, the Christians are going to say, how can Jesus doesn't strike him down with thunder? I don't self-flagellate, that's right, to start with. Who has wisdom and understanding, or true understanding, rather? The 7 heads represent 7 kingdoms upon which this woman sitteth. The heads, in turn, represent 7 kingdoms. 5 of them, of these kingdoms, have already fallen. One of them rules now. One of them rules now. John, in the time of John, not now. The 6th one is ruling. He was taken into the desert. Remember that? Where was he taken? To the desert. So then, the 6th one The sixth kingdom actually is also represented by a desert. That's why I told you. I'll explain to you afterwards. That's why it says, I was taken in the spirit to where? Into the desert. Desert equals sixth head equals. I'll explain it to you because it was actually a desert. 5 of these kings have already fallen. One of them rules now, and the other has not yet come. But when he cometh, he shall not last a long time. It's not going to last a long time. I want to read this in this version. It's not going to last a lot. So then it means John. In other words, it won't last a lot. So then it means John. In other words, you, Messiah, understand this, says Yahweh. Understand these words. Start counting the kings. The 7th one, it'll be the shortest one of them all. A very short life. Very short life. Has that been fulfilled? Astonishingly so. Hair-raisingly so. In comparison to the rest, he didn't last at all. In comparison to the rest, didn't last at all. Very short time, the 7th. And after the 7th, who appears? Now, John, not I. John was astonished. And this is what's going to happen afterwards. What's going to happen afterwards? This is for the mind that hath wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains. And then everyone says here, no, because Rome is the city of the 7 hills. No, it isn't so. Because the Vatican is outside of Rome. If you were to add the Vatican as the head of Rome, spiritually speaking, the church, it is completely on the other side of the river. The 7 heads of Rome, 7 heads of Rome are on the other side of the river of the Vatican. So then someone say the Vatican surrounded by 7 hills. No, it's a lie. Absolutely a lie. They don't even get that right. They don't even get that right. It is not a part. The Vatican is not a part, which is the Vatican state. Let's suppose. If the Vatican state is the beast, which is not, I'm just saying, I'm just wasting my time here. If the state, and well, who am I speaking to? Who am I speaking? I've told you to leave already. I told you to leave. Okay, I speak to you. Look, poor idiot Christians, because you are idiots. Your name is not written. Let's not insult them so much. Poor things. Your name is not written. It is not their fault. And you're NPCs. So look at what the Christians think. The Vatican, which is the Vatican state, is surrounded by 7 hills. No, it's not surrounded. Rome, the original Rome, has 7 hills. The Vatican doesn't have anything to do with this. It's on the other side of the river. It's up here. It doesn't have anything to do with it. Okay, poor things. Poor things. I was one of the ones that believed this shit. But of course, against my own will, because it's the name written starts to grow when you are a protagonist, no matter what you do. No matter what you stop doing, it'll be born in you the obligation and the desire, and Yahweh will do things, even whether you like them or not, for you to do what you were predestined to do. Predestination is written. There is nothing that you can do to avoid your destiny. Today I have phrases that are poetic. Today, there's nothing that you can do, nothing that you... Okay. What other city has 7 hills? Which one could it be? The 7 hills of Jerusalem. Of course. And the hill of the mountain is one of them. Jerusalem was founded upon 7 hills. The 7 hills that have the name of them, the original city, the mountain, Beseta, not Bethesda, Beseta, Gareb, Akra, Bared, Av, and Zion. You know that one, right? Zion, you know that one. And Ophel and Moriah, the Moriah one, where our beloved father, second-class secondary Abraham, a secondary or support actor, Abraham, was going to sacrifice, that son of a bitch, when sacrifice his son here. It was going to be precisely in this mount where they built the temple. It is one of the 7 mountains. So then what city more clearly, a city of worship has 7 mounts. And which one could it be? The one that John says, and I saw, and I was filled with great astonishment. I couldn't stop my astonishment. This is Israel. Yes, it is Israel. Hey, John, it is Israel. Of course. You recognize that, well, it is Israel. And the rest, are they going to recognize it? No. Don't you worry about that, John. We're going to do the necessary that they recognize this city. What city? Rome. He says, oh, well, okay. They're all going to blame Rome? Yeah, they're all going to blame Rome. Who's going to notice that it's Israel? Oh, the Messiah. The Messiah comes and says, no, but of course, because the book is written for the Messiahs, and the Messiah notices that the city of the 7 hills is called Israel. I will just give you the 7 poets, but it is. Am I going to be offensive? To the divine button. The divine button, I couldn't identify it very well, but my mom told me to not use divine unless it's only for God. The only thing that's divine is God. The rest, anytime that I would hear that phrase to the divine button in Argentina, it's just that is an offense to God. First of all, I am divine. My lineage is divine, and you have to demonstrate it. The rest has to demonstrate it. Demonstrate it. And for now, you are falling behind. You're falling behind. Saying thanks to Yahweh, thanks here, you're pretty behind. So then what is the divine button? Why divine button? Okay. What does the divine button mean? I know what it means, but I want to know where the phrase comes. Why divine button? Oh, it's all in Rome. Yes, of course. Oh, the rosary. Oh, the divine button. Of course, the rosary. Divine things that they have to say. Of course. And instead of saying, Holy Mary, Mother of God, you said something else. What are you doing? The divine button. They're praying one by one. I would have to install one to you a rosary, and that you start reading and repeating every text of Revelation 17. What I teach you, it'll be the super divine button. Exactly. It'll be a complete fart. Exactly. Very well. So the divine button should be a divine button of the rosary. Of course, because it could have been buttons in the rosary, like pearls. How interesting. Let me ask you, in all of America, do you use the divine button? Do you understand it? No? You don't come from Rome. You come from other sources. No one understands divine button out of Mexico, Guatemala, El Salvador, Nicaragua, Colombia. Do they understand what the divine button is? For example, Mexico plays like the divine button because they never go anywhere. How evil am I? Don't get upset. Don't get upset. Exactly. The divine button. It's like incomplete as in a fart is the other phrase. Chile, do they use the divine button? Chile says they do. I think they do. The divine button. Very well. Very well. Not Honduras. Interesting. Well, I taught you something new. So you get more Argentinian, whether you like it or not. So you can practice to the divine button. It's a good phrase because they use it in your house, and your mom asks for something, says, yeah, but I'm to the divine button, they're not going to understand anything, and you told her to fuck off. I mean, it's good that your mom and other people, non-written, in the book of license before the creation of the world, don't understand things. They say, oh, what does that say that? Yeah, oh, thanks, mom, to the divine button. What did you say? No, that I liked it. That's how Yahweh speaks. No one understands anything. That's how Yahweh speaks. Okay, very well. So then, that would be the divine button that I read the popes. But I'll go ahead and read them. I used to think that, and it would fit in that time of 2007, that the seven kings, the state of the Vatican was the beast, so then we would start off wrong right there, that the beast is Rome, that is the Vatican state. When did their popes become kings? In 1929, February 11th, they signed the Lateran Treaty. In Spanish, they call it, what was this treaty called? From Lateran Treaty. The Lateran Treaty exists. The Lateran Treaty, February 11th of 1929, remember 11th, how pretty, where Mussolini signs that space of the Vatican stops belonging to the country of Rome and becomes a country within a country. The Lateran Treaty. Individual with other rules and all the rest. So then they give an independence to the Vatican. So then logically we said, oh, interesting. And the Pope becomes a king. So then the first Pope king was Pius VI, which was reigning, which was the one that signed the Lateran Treaty. Pope Pius VII was the second Pope, and John Paul the 23rd was the third, Paul VI was the fourth, and John Paul the First, which lasted only 30 days, because he was poisoned and died. It was the fifth head. That one lasted but a short time. He lasted a short time. Not even that would coincide well, because 5 were fallen. The Pius the Second, Pius the Seventh. No, pardon me. Pius the 11th, Pius the 12th. Let's see when I read the names. Pius the 11th, Pius 12th, John 23rd, Paul the 6th, John Paul the 1st. There you have the fifth heads. So then we applied. 5 of them are fallen. Well, even until John Paul the 1st. One is, we would say, he was taken unto the kingdom of whom? Of John Paul II. Of course, of John Paul II, which had just died in the year 2005, when he had just died. One of the popes, the most beloved and charismatic popes of all the last ones, even though this last one, wow, he's so charismatic. I think ours won Bergoglio. I think it passed on to John Paul II. But of course, he's Argentinian. An Argentinian will always be better than a Polish guy. Who's going to want to listen to a Polish guy? John Paul II was Polish, if I can't remember well, because Benedict was German, Polish, German, and Argentinian. Interesting. How interesting. John Paul II reigned from 1978, when Argentina was a champion. What does that have anything to do? Nothing, but I give you the information either way so that you become more Argentinian. The first Argentinian was 1978. It has a lot to do with John Paul II, but of course. So then let's repeat after me. It is not to the divine button. John Paul II starts to reign in 1978, when also Argentina starts to reign in soccer, 1978. And he starts or dies in 2005 or stops reigning. And the seventh Pope rises, Benedict XVI. Ratzinger is his name of the Pope. A Pope that I really hated. And now this Pope I love. I mean, I like him so much. He died already. But I like him. I really liked him. I read one of his books and I loved it, what I read. I loved within a Christian mind and all the I find that it was a guy really understood things very clearly, and he would give you messages that I understand, that I grasped it, but a Christian reader does not grasp it. It's like there's only one God. That sometimes you see it as two or three, but it's really one. The guy would really give you the hints from the books that I've read from his. Because for me to hate Ratzinger, I started to like the guy a lot. Poor old man. Very good. And the way of writing of his that he had, I really liked it. He was a theologian that was fabulous. In other words, he didn't have the truth, but in his mind, the guy, it's kind of like, he would let you see certain things that were interesting. Benedict the 16th was the seventh head, and after that head, when we thought we understood that Revelation 17 was based on seven popes, and we were living on the seventh head, and that the seventh head was going to last but a short time, because he had just gone up into power. I told you that I understood this prophecy in 2007, and he went up in 2005. So then he had 2 years reigning. He says he's going to die at any moment. At any moment, he's going to die. Because the prophecy says that he must last but a short time. He's going to die, he's going to die, he wouldn't die, he wouldn't die, he wouldn't die. He just died a little bit ago. Oh, look at that. So then he was going to last quite a bit of time, that son of a bitch. That's why I like him. He was going to last quite a bit of time, this man, which I like, Ratzinger. So then I thought I understood that we were living in the time, immediate time to his death, and that what was going to come up would be the eighth. But the eighth, like the prophecy says, that I'm still not arriving at, was one of the seven. In other words, there was not an eighth, it's seven. One of those seven which fall, one has to rise again. In other words, resurrect and rule as an eighth, but actually he's one of the seventh. So then I said, in my mind, back in those days, you know this, you've heard the subjects, and I said, who could the world accept? They're not going to accept Pius the 11th or Pius the 12th. They already forgot about those guys. The one that could accept is the one that the world cried for lately and that they loved, John Paul II. So then, who's going to resurrect? John Paul II would resurrect. I thought it was marvelous, this explanation, and it was really fabulous. It was fabulous. I was sold completely with that interpretation. But what was the mistake? There was no mistake. It was taking us in that direction. The fundamental mistake was that the beast is not Rome. So then whatever thing that we could build upon the beast, the wrong beast, would be all wrong. Because if you don't identify the beast, how are you going to identify the kings of the beast? It's impossible. So then that was the mistake. But some years were needed in order to be able to mature so that we could understand that our names were predestined, so that inevitably, inexorably, so without even our will at play, that we change the interpretation and understand it, but in the adequate time, not before, the adequate time. The adequate time arrived. The interpretation is marvelous. You already know it. But I expect that you know this by memory. Southern. We thought that Benedict was going to die. As it turns out, Benedict resigned in the year 2013, when we still held up the prophecy, but already he should last a brief time in comparison to the rest. It was already kind of being stretched out, but as long as the seventh head is still alive, let's hold out. The seventh head resigned, and what comes up is an eighth. It has nothing to do with any of those. Who's Bergoglio, the Argentinian, and so then really the prophecy was already way too difficult to sustain, because an eighth one went up. He went up in the year 2013, and we're talking about 10 years ago. He didn't go into perdition, because we're talking about the life of men here. He didn't go into perdition, and it cannot be applied that he was one of the seven, because Bergoglio was never one of the seven. So then the prophecy is left already discarded by itself, even without having understood that Israel is the beast, even without following, trying to sustain Rome as the beast. The prophecy was diluted because an eighth one went up that was not one of the seven, and that's it. And then later we tried to get an explanation that would say it doesn't say it's one of the seven, but rather it's like unto the seven. But that is to really stretch it and rip it apart and then glue it back up. You know about that. Do you know that? Do you remember or not? When I explained, it doesn't say that it's one of the sevens, but it's like the seven. And that was discovered by a person that left the eternal truth. It was Saul's a friend. What was his name? Sergio, and his last name is very Jewish. Sergio. Yeah, they're going to remember. Because he brought that, it doesn't say, it does say that it's one of the seven, but I don't know how this Jew looked up. He's like unto. Sergio, what? Come on. You can't remember. Rubenstein. What, is he not Jewish or not? Rubenstein. Or whatever you pronounce. Sergio Rubenstein. Very, very belonging to the beast. And I really liked him. I don't know why he left. I tell the truth, I don't know why he left. I really liked him, Mr. Sergio, very well. I'm sure his name was not written. I cannot do anything. How many people do I like and their name is not written? My mother and father, I always liked them, but for them to be written in the book of life, no. My sisters, no, the rest, I'm sorry. I mean, I'm not even sorry, but for me to like them and for them to be written in books, something else. I think so. Of course, I mean, he should already been cut since before Rubenstein. He should already have been halfway left, just the fourth left. Of course, he would have a bald soldier. Of course, he would be in agreement for everyone to be bald. Of course, no, absolutely not. What else? What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. Of course, for us to like a person doesn't mean that they're gonna be written in the book. No, of course not. He was Argentinian, yeah. Argentinian. And he still is. Very well. So then, the eighth Pope, Jorge Mario Bergoglio, came and ruined it all. He ruined the interpretation of the prophecy. We wanted to sustain it, and then everything came down. And of course, if one of the things, when you find yourself with a failure, that the adding of my failures is my success, as I've told you already. My success is the sum of my failures. When you find a failure that's so monumental as this one, you start to think, saying, where was the mistake? I have to know what the mistake is. If I don't find the mistake, why do we study that book? I have to understand and find the mistake. And of course I found the mistake. But of course I found it. I start to once again study the book with a lot more effort, and what had to come is the explanation. And I found it. First main point, Yahweh was one, not two. Second point, Israel is the beast, not Rome. So then, we go to see who are these 5 kings. Who are they? And I want to stop already and leave you for today. I want to leave you already. It's 2 hours 22. And we get to the point of mentioning the kings. All those that know this, that I presented this already many times, you have to know this by memory. But for example, I'm gonna invite it for Minto to tell me it by memory. I'm not gonna call a woman because Minto, please tell me the 7 kings by memory. First one already. No. Tell me the 7 kings, the true interpretation of Revelation 17. The first one. Quickly. Don't whisper. He doesn't know. Second one, Ale, the first one. Minto lost his opportunity. First king. Quickly. With the he doesn't know. Okay, Hector. Stop watching your phone. Which is the first kingdom, Hector? We don't know. Wow. Where am I? Okay, it's all fine. I taught you since many years. It's all fine. It's all fine. That is the reason why I'm teaching this subject, and already with such space this way, not with such patience and so slowly, even if it's fun to listen to me speak. I'm going very slowly. Why? Because this one, I want you to record it forever. My mission is for you to record it. Like those that you have to record it because the instructions for you. You want to know who the first king. Who's the first king? Tell me. First king is Israel. First king. Because Jerusalem is the beast. Jerusalem is the prostitute. Jerusalem is the city. It will be ruled by 7 kings. The first of them all, the one that founded that city, was called David, the city of David. So then from here on out, all the eternal truth, I want you to repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat. First king of Revelation 17, the first king is called Israel. The first king is called Israel. Repeat it and repeat it and repeat it. I don't want you to ever again, and I know it won't happen, forget. How important was it to teach it again? The first kingdom, Minto, of Revelation 17. Israel. The first kingdom of Revelation 17, Hector. First king of Revelation 17, Ale. Israel. It has to flow. It has to flow. You have to make the connection, a neuroanal, connect it well from the brain to your ass. Connect it. Very neuroanal, the whole body connected. And make a road, a freeway, that when the question comes, and who is it? It's 7 kings. 5 of them have fallen. Which is the first one? Israel. And the rest flow naturally. Naturally. No one understands this. We are the only group, because we are the only Christ, the only Messiah that will have this earth, that this earth will have. The rest won't understand it. But of course, I would feel so bad if the people would start to understand it. In other words, it's not that I would feel bad. I would feel weird for the people to understand. They can't understand it. Just like that, they can't understand it. They must not understand it. That's why most esteemed Christians go fuck off because you're bored here. Unless it really calls your attention so powerfully for you to say, no, hold on, even if you kick me out and you tell me that I'm a son of a bitch, and that you insult me, and you tell me to go back to my mother's cunt, in other words, to be born again, and people get offended. It says, I'm going to stay here because I found what I needed. Well, then maybe your name is written here. But if you got offended because I told you to go back to your mother's cunt, back to the fucking fuck off to your mother's cunt, then leave. Your name wasn't here. But those that say, no, then insult me all you want, but the more you insult me, the more I love you, because I need to listen to you. I need to learn, because it's a magnet that is stronger than me. So then, oh yeah, okay, fine. Then maybe your name is written here. It could be, maybe. I'm not assuring anything, because many assured that they would never leave the eternal truth. Some are some lost paths. They said, I'll never leave the eternal truth. And then he went through the shitty paths. I haven't listened to that poor wretched fool. Poor guy. Poor guy. It's been such a long time. I don't know if Edgardo listened to him, because Edgardo would listen to him before. He would listen to him. And so then he'd have fun by giving me clips, and this minute says, listen to this. I think Edgardo no longer listens to him. You're watching River Plate a lot. Ariel and Gabi, if you really put lots of heart, you can become from the Boca team. What a blessing. What a blessing. What a change. What a change. I can imagine Gabi and Ariel with the Boca jersey. Wow. I mean, well, but that's fine. We accept them. These chickens. We accept chickens. I have chickens here. We accept chickens. We accept chickens. Okay, very well. Yes, I love my chickens. Exactly. Very well. So then, first king is the one that was founded. Let's read this text. Second book of Samuel. Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. Ariel, stop watching the chickens so much and start watching the sub. Just give me something fun to watch. It's been a long time that I haven't had any fun with the shitty ash pads, because he would say every stupid shit. See, what happens is that the chickens, they're a little bit correct. River Plate was always a team that liked to play well. They like to play soccer well by touching the ball well, whatever. Boca is a team that plays with efforts, and they put their soul into it. That is the difference. It doesn't mean that they don't play well. They play well so many times, but River has always been distinguished. It's a game that it's attractive for people to watch. They don't win, but it's one of the most, after Boca, they're the teams that win the most from Argentina and of America. They have won many things. River is great. I mean, nothing to say about what they won. We have more cups. When Libertadores they won here or that. Doesn't matter. When they win more Libertadores than us, we'll speak. We'll sit down to speak. So then, as long as you don't have so many Libertadores, now River's so sad. No matter if they're champion of Argentina, that's worthless. The one that displays Libertadores is the one that's worth anything. So then Boca has been continued to play. Like the last two ones that Boca, and Racing Club of Argentina, we didn't get one goal. It was dog shit. Boca played like dog shit. We won penalties, but we didn't score in two. What a disaster! But we are in the semifinals of the Libertadores Cup. Where's River? Crying at home. That's what River is. Boca's in the semifinal. I prefer to play bad and win than to play well and die. Period. But either way, Boca has been distinguished by playing spectacularly. I'm not of Boca because they play well or bad. It is a feeling that I cannot explain. Okay, taking that out. So Ariel provoked me. Stop, Ariel. Start watching the shitty pads and give me some clips. 2 Samuel 5, 6 to 10. Spanish DHS says King David and his men went to Jerusalem to attack the Jebusites, the inhabitants of that region. Called it Jerusalem, but it wasn't called Jerusalem, mind you. It was that region just to place us in a historical book. And the Jebusites, thinking that David would not get into the city, they told him, you will not be able to enter here because we only need cripples and blind to stop you from coming in. It says, look, we're going to beat you even with the blind men and cripples. Now he took over the city of Zion, known as the city of David, but of course it was a fourth-class city. David had said back then, all they who attacked the Jebusites, for them to enter into the channel of the water, for them to kill the blind men, the cripples, which I hate with all my soul. That is where we get not even the blind men nor the cripples can enter into the temple of the Lord. Well, then David installed himself into the fortress and he called it the city of David. And he built walls around it all the way into the palace. And the power of David was augmented, and Yahweh, the Elohim of hosts, the only one that exists, was with him. So then, who actually conquered a part of land that had a fortress? And it was a fourth-class village. David did. David conquered that city. David called that place the city of David. And David initiated the taking over of that place. So then, the first kingdom is Israel. And the rest, we shall see next Shabbat. The destiny of Babylon is written, as also the one of every one of us. It is written, and the end is inevitable. Let us seek our Elohim. Beloved Yahweh, we give you thanks for having spoken to us today through your book that you have given us to make us understand the last events that are soon to take place. We give you thanks because your message has arrived unto us clearly and we have memorized it. All this we thank you for, and we know that our names, you wrote them from before you made the earth, and that we are the protagonists of your creation, and that we are the maximum protagonists of your creation, and that we're going to protagonize and bring down Babylon and reign over this whole earth. All this I thank you for in your precious name, the name of our husband, of the only Elohim that exists, Yahweh Sabaoth. Hallelujah. Semper Fi. Let the laurels be eternals that we knew how to achieve. Crowned with glory, let us live. Long live the sons of Elohim. Long live the Messiah. Hallelujah. Long live the Messiah. Another applause. Obviously. If you like this video, give us a like and comment. If you didn't like it, then it wasn't for you. You can comment other videos. Hallelujah to every one of you. We shall meet again next Shabbat with part 5. And we shall continue to study and memorizing the 7 kings of Revelation 17. Hallelujah to every one of you.